Dorsal.
Good morning, Dr. Andrew McSwain here to speak to you about carpal tunnel syndrome, and I want you to think a little bit more broadly in general about hand pain. So if you're having some hand pain, some swelling, tenderness, or your finger is locking or not straightening out completely, or you're also having some elbow or shoulder pain, then you definitely want to listen to this. And I also request or encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dr. McSwain, and that way when I have new videos coming out, more information, you'll be able to get them automatically. So here is something that first I want to show you, and that's called the double phalanx test. So you can do it with one hand, single phalanx test, or both hands together. And if you drop your hands like this and you start to have numbness and tingling, then you know that there might be an area related to carpal tunnel that's having a problem. I want to show you what is carpal tunnel, and let me do that by showing you in the hand some key indicators. First of all, in your hand, the anatomy is such that all of these ligaments have to come together and go into your hand through this small space here. And so basically the body has a bracelet, and that bracelet is made out of a tissue that can hold several hundred pounds per square inch, or PSI, approximately 300 PSI. And so when that tissue was designed, it was designed to hold in the tendons that come in from your hand, from your forearm, your blood supply in, blood supply out, and also the major nerve supply into the hand. So what happens is we end up contracting either by holding grocery cart, driving with our palms like this, people who use walkers, anyone who uses instrumentation or has to grip and hold something for prolonged periods is more susceptible to having tension in this area. But what that can do is it actually can block blood supply in, it can block fluid leaving the hand, and it can create numbness and tingling if this area is too tight. One other way you can tell is if this area of your hand is flat, or is it more like a V or a valley. In that case, you might have some constriction right here creating some of the symptoms. I want you to know, first and foremost, this is a non-surgical way. There's many ways to treat this that are non-surgical. In fact, I believe you can have tremendous improvement in a very short time just by using some of the stretches I'm going to show you. So here we have our helper and his hand, and you can see if we look, he has a bit of a valley. But I also want him to do the double phalanx test, so he folds his hands together and he notices symptoms. Okay, so then what we're going to do is show him how to release that tension. And for me, what I can do as a practitioner is I can actually, and you can do this with a partner, I've created lengthening here. And I also want to note, if you just see how he rests his hand, he has a curve here as well. This is another really important indicator that all of the connective tissue or fascia has become bound here. And that restricts the bones of the wrist, and it also creates compression. And so what I like to do in treating it is get these large muscles that are swollen usually, spread them wide, and then find the place where there's kind of a knot. Now, if you've already had carpal tunnel syndrome, this area can re-scar and actually become thicker in the banding, and symptoms probably will reoccur. So we can do that. And then also I want you to see that there's another band that exists in carpal tunnel, and it's right here. And what makes the thumb do is it makes the thumb roll in, and that's how you start getting that curling. And you can see how the hand kind of automatically curls on itself. So there's some banding in there as well. So then I work to roll the hand out. Good. And then what I want you to do is I want you to spread with your thumb and your finger. I want you to make a point to not bend that thumb. Thank you. And then spread the fingers wide. Good. And you can start to see how some of the swelling, even though he had minor amount, has come down even more. Relax. There you go. And when you see this, then you start to see the connection as it goes into the upper part of the arm. Now what's going to happen is when you stand up, you can stand up and then you can turn to the table. Gee, got my feet in that. Okay, turn to the table. Take this hand, and what you want to do is turn it so that it is the fingers spread wide. Okay, and it's shoulders. Good. And then the fingers are spread wide. Yep. And then you're standing, actually. This might be too low of a table, but when I do it, my fingers spread wide. You can't really see here. And like this, the fingers spread wide, and then it allows for the whole hand. And then whenever you do a carpal tunnel stretch, and there are many that are available on YouTube, what you definitely want to do is bend out of it with your elbow first, release the tension. This tissue has a rubber band-like quality, and if you quickly come out of the position, you will kind of snap that tissue and actually make it tighter, doing the opposite of what you want to do in the long run for healing. So it's really important to do one hand at a time. If you try to do both, then you won't feel the stretch as much, and also if you do it this way, it doesn't work. So that's some areas to think about, and then also that will allow some of the fluid to leave these fingers. Thank you very much. It's a little introduction on carpal tunnel syndrome. Once again, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dr. McSwain, and visit me at drmcswain.com or my Facebook. Thank you so much. Have a great day.